I literally cut this guy's hair on the side of the road just to show you how easy it is. But it's not just any haircut, it's a literal burst fade with scissor work that we're gonna do. So let's get straight into this. And this was probably one of the scariest haircut tutorials that I've had to do. And that's literally because we had huge trucks in the background, loud as hell. And I thought somebody was gonna honk and I was gonna mess up his hairline. So I got my tools on the side, my trusted scissors, comb, and we're gonna start getting straight into this haircut tutorial. So you guys can see we're gonna find that swirl in the back of his haircut. And we're just gonna section the top from the sides. And we're gonna be following the same system that we always do. I'm gonna use the wide teeth of my comb to start to section off the top from the sides. And this is super important because it's gonna take something like this that could be a pretty difficult haircut to do, especially outside. And it's gonna make it so much easier because I don't have a barber chair. I don't have a ring light, you know, I don't have the station with all the drawers, and I don't even have a blow dryer out here, if I'm being honest with you guys. I got nothing. I got some clippers, some scissors, some trimmers, and a dream. But let's get through this haircut tutorial. So I'm gonna start by actually establishing my top line. I'm gonna start by using the fine teeth of my comb and pulling the hair all towards me. And that's gonna give me a solid, even base for my scissor work. I'm gonna keep it longer on the back and tighter on the sides because we are doing a burst fade. So you're gonna see that with my fingers, when I get to the side of his head, I'm gonna start bringing it a lot closer to where I'm actually on the side of his head. Now you can see there's this guy that came through. He wanted to dap me up. He was actually started waiting for a haircut. He actually wanted to get a haircut. But now we're gonna go and establish the bottom line of our burst fade. So you can see I'm creating almost like a V-type shape in the back. And then this is what I mean that when I get to the side of the head, you can see that I'm pulling my fingers super tight and I'm creating more of the shape for my actual burst fade. This is what we call like the bottom line, right? And my fingers are super tight to the side of his head, especially because he has that hair that when it's super short, it's gonna stick out. But guys, like, you guys can cut hair anywhere. Like, you don't have to only be in the shop. And even if you don't have a shop, there's nothing that stops you from, you know, cutting hair outside and just getting the job done. But you can see that whatever I do to one side, I'm gonna go ahead and do to the other side. Just creating that baseline so I have a good base to blend into with my clippers. And the reason why I put my fingers tight to the side of his head is because it's gonna allow me to blend in with my 3-guard, which is gonna allow me to actually debulk the whole side of the fade. Now we're just going and cleaning up the bottom of our scissor work. And you can see now that we established the bottom line and that top line that I just showed you, now I can go, after checking my work, and start to actually cut the back and get that textured, layered look in the back. So when you have a top line and a bottom line, like look at that right there, you see what's already cut. Let me show you guys. Look at that. My fingers, you have the top part already cut and the bottom part already cut. So I'm literally just cutting off that peak in the middle. That's the part that makes this system so easy to use, that you're literally just going to connect the dots that you set up in the beginning, and it's going to make it like a foolproof haircut. You can see, look, that part's already cut. I just cut under it and I go all the way down until I find that short point at the bottom. This haircutting system is inspired by DFS. Like I say to you guys, it is not DFS. I don't even know DFS. All I know is that this stuff works, and it works for every haircut that I do inside of the barbershop. But now we got to go connect the sides into with the top. So that same block graduation that I set up in the beginning, that's the same thing that I'm doing right now. I'm just following that same line, connecting the top into the sides. I like showing you guys that, you know, stuff like this, because it shows like there's no excuses, man. Like, you guys have no excuses at all when it comes to getting your reps in, getting these haircuts done, posting this content. And now we're just gonna start by cutting the top. All I'm gonna do is just gonna section out the top, grab it, and then just, you can see my short point on the left, and just start to cut right there. And we're just gonna go for like a messy top. Boom. Piece after piece, brick after brick. And then after this, we're gonna get into the burst fade. But man, I wanted to just let you guys know, this is how I really started cutting hair, guys. I would pull up, I was charging, maybe sometimes it would be a free haircut, sometimes it might be $20, but I was doing $20 house calls. And I would just, people that I knew, people that I had on Snapchat, or I knew from school, or I knew from whatever job I was working at the time. I would pull up to their driveway. I would cut hair maybe in their bathroom or in their garage. Or I remember my first haircut I ever did, we were outside in the grass, and I was using a dining room table to hold my clippers, just because I wanted to get reps in, because I knew that if I got my reps in, I would get better. And I didn't have a shop to cut in at the time, and I was just using the resources that I had. And the resource that I had was a pair of clippers and some YouTube tutorials, and I just started putting in work. I started getting in reps. And I think that sometimes what happens is we get like stuck in the trap of thinking that we don't have the right resources to start, right? Maybe we don't have the camera to post the content, or we don't have the fancy mics, or we don't have the coolest, newest clippers, or we don't have this, or we don't have the barbershop to cut in. Like, guys, sometimes you got to just carve your own opportunity out. It's not always going to be a perfect picture place to start. Even when I started cutting hair in the garage, like, it was hot as hell in my garage. I didn't even have an AC, but I had hustle, I had work ethic. I tried it out. And was I perfect? No. You're not going to be perfect either. That stuff is like just an unreal expectation of the world that you got to be willing to let go. Because ultimately, I guess the reason why I tell you that story of how I literally started just going out and cutting hair, whether it was for $20 house call or even just free, is that there's so much that you don't know, and you really only learn that stuff by doing it and by taking action. And you have to do so many reps. You have to get so good at cutting hair that cutting hair is almost like boring to you, because it's not surprising. You know exactly how the haircut is going to come out. But it's going to be hard for you guys to actually go in and put in those reps and do the work if you're waiting on a perfect scenario, or you're waiting on having the perfect resources. Some people wait to cut hair until they get into barber school. They wait to cut hair until they get into a barbershop. They wait to post content until they have a camera. They wait to, do something before they have something else. Like, you have to use whatever resources you have and just start getting the reps, because when you get the reps in, that's really when you get better. That's when you get the skill set. And then the next part of that is, once you stop waiting on the resources and you start, okay, well, you don't just do a little bit, you have to do a lot. You don't just do one haircut that challenges you. You do 10 haircuts. You do 50 haircuts that challenges you. You don't pass out one business card. You pass out 100 business cards, 500 business cards. You don't just go ahead and post one time on social media every week. You post 10 times or 30 times on social media every single week. You just gotta get the reps in. And with getting the reps in, you get better with time. And that's why I was willing to go out and cut people hair on the side of the road, or in garages, or in these imperfect scenarios, because I knew that at the end of the day, I just had to get comfortable with the clippers. I just had to get the reps in, and you'll get better with time. The same way, failure is literally the path to success. It's not even failing, it's just learning. It's like, for example, if a baby is starting to crawl and like walk, let's say the baby starts to walk, but then the baby ends up falling. Well, did the baby fail at walking, or is it just learning to walk? Exactly. The baby's just learning to walk. If you do a haircut and it doesn't come out good, does that mean you suck as a barber? I mean, a little bit, but does that mean that you fail at barbering? Like, no, it just means that you're learning to cut hair. You're growing in the process, and that's okay. That's a part of the journey. I sucked at cutting hair too. On some haircuts, I can still get better at. Like, we're all growing together. But what I would tell you guys is, from somebody with my experience, is just don't get caught up in some of the lies that our industry is going to try to push on you, because our industry is going to try to push on you stuff like, trying to make you think that you need social media to build a clientele. You need to go viral or do these consultation videos or whatever that people are telling y'all to do. But that's just not true, guys. The money that I've made, like, just to be transparent and be honest with you guys, I've made over $100,000 my first year cutting hair. My first year license, I made over $100,000 $1,000. My second year, I made 170. Last year, I cleared 200 just by cutting hair. And if you guys take 2 seconds to look at my social media, you'll see that your boy's like not popular. Like, your boy's not viral at all, but you don't need that stuff to be a booked up barber. You just got to learn really what are the things that's really going to build up my clientele. You don't need to go viral to build a clientele. I mean, don't get me wrong, social media is a tool, but I would say make sure that you're using it in the right way. Some people are using it to go viral, and like I heard this quote one time at a barber expo. The guy was saying, you know, you'll try to take over the world before you even take over your city. Like, you'll try to take over the whole world before the people in your city even know that you're a barber. Don't get lost in all that stuff, guys. Just focus on being a great barber to the people in your city, taking massive action and not waiting on some type of perfect scenario for you to actually start having the career that you ultimately want to have. And if you guys are ready to even take the first step, guys, I have more haircut tutorials just like this, and we also have like a free business course that you guys can learn to actually start building your clientele if you guys are ready for that step. All right, it's inside the description down below, and like I said, it's 100% free, so relax, you know what I mean? But it's in there. So if you guys are ready to start learning, go ahead and check that out down below. Hope you guys enjoy this haircut tutorial and this little talk, that it's more transparent, more real, raw, and just authentic. And look at this haircut though. Come on, being able to do a burst fade outside, no blow dryer, like, bruh, can I get my flowers in the comment section below? But yeah, guys, any type of haircuts that you guys want to see, any specific struggles that you have, that's going to determine the next video that I make. I'm going to be featuring a comment in the next video. So comment down below a haircut that you struggle with, or even something that you struggle with in terms of building clientele. No question is too deep. Drop it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on the next tutorial. All right, peace.